Welcome to Cinemine, the show that you just can't stop calling. Or watching. I don't know. Speaking of which, you know John Pork, the pig man? Well, I've discovered a conspiracy. And you won't believe how deep this goes, and let me tell you, it all goes back to Atlanta. Supposedly, our story starts with John Pork, who was born in Palermo, Italy, on September 12th, 2001. Now, if you've been sticking with the series, there are a lot of varying dates, but just for the sake of simplicity, I used the one that was most heavily used. So, if you've been sticking with the series, he was also drowned, or an attempted drowning, by the Colorado River on April 1st, 2023. Now, again, for the sake of simplicity, there are multiple varying locations and dates. I just used the one that I found was used most often. This attempted drowning leading him to go into a coma, where when he woke up, he told the police that the suspect was large, hairy, and tried to drown him with a fork. Now, even for this kind of meme media, that's kind of odd. Now, there were a list of suspects that were brought up, which included Asian Jeff, Phantom, Queso, and Talking Tom and his gang. I also came up with a few suspects with the information provided, which were LLIPS, Reddit user Mundane Sandwich, and Nikocado Avocado, just based on the details. So, ruling out the ones that were actually presented in the video, Talking Tom and Queso were the ones that were kept the longest. I actually think Phantom should have outlasted Talking Tom, but more on that later. Asian Jeff was immediately ruled out because, he does Fortnite streams. I can't give you any other reason other than that. And I had my suspects Mundane Sandwich because you can check out their thing. They want to brutally end John Pork. LLIPS, Lips. I chose him just because, sticking with the whole, mukbanger sort of thing and the fork. He's not necessarily a big dude or that hairy, but you could probably down the whole pig. He also is known for a love of pork. And then we come to Nikocado Avocado. He's about the same as Queso. The odds are quite similar. I'm not sure you could eat the entire pig unlike Queso, but... So then going back to the investigators things, I actually think it would most likely be Queso and Talking Tom. Now, Phantom, yeah, he's a big dude. He could definitely eat John Pork. And he's a big dude as well. So, Talking Tom and his gang could definitely subdue him. But I don't understand why they just kill him. And Queso, I got nothing against Queso. I've never met the guy. He probably would have just eaten John Pork right there on the spot. And maybe that's wrong, but that's also the next thing that connects Talking Tom and the gang to it. We learn that John Pork is part of a British gang. Now, that brings up the other question. Why was he in Tennessee for the police shootout in the underground club? And why was he in Colorado? Now, with other evidence, I guess, presented, we can also rule out Lips, just because when you really think about it, we have no idea where Mundane Sandwich looks like, so they're still on the table, and honestly, the odds of Nikocado Avocado are all but shrinking. Now, I then realized something. What if this was all just staged? What if there was a larger conspiracy at play? What if John Pork's gang was doing more than just that? I actually don't know. And that's when I realized there was an overarching plot of a drug ring. Now we're talking cartel. And that explains what he was doing in Colorado and Tennessee. And in essence, wraps everything up. Okay, so our narrative starts with this. He's part of a British gang, so what would he be doing in the US? Well, he's part of a drug ring, a crime ring. Now, while he was in Colorado buying marijuana to mark up the price, which is illegal in Tennessee, he would mark up the price and go to Tennessee, which Tennessee has, in essence, in the words of the DEA, Atlanta has, in essence, become a drug warehouse for giant cartels. I think that's likely what he was doing in Atlanta, but while in Colorado, the police caught on to his trail. He then prepared to take down any evidence with him, was prepared to end his life by the Colorado River. He then survived, and that stalled the police for a while, and he came up with this alibi of somebody trying to drown him. And then, again, after a while, the police caught onto his trail, and while he was headed to Tennessee, doing whoever knows what, he was at a club doing a drug deal when the cops showed up. And Biggie Cheese, being prepared to defend himself and realizing that John Pork was, in essence, linked to this somehow, immediately took him out. He was ready. But, that's just a theory. And in the end, he's just a pig guy who likes his shoes. So, cut the man some slack. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more upcoming theories on how bouncing seals ended the world and the larger conspiracy behind Gabby's dollhouse. Thanks for watching.